Dzień dobry, witam was bardzo serdecznie w kolejnym odcinku Arkham's Horror Mother's Embrace. Po ostatnich, bardzo intensywnych w traumę wydarzeniach w Heart of Algedy przeszliśmy do momentu, w którym będziemy podróżować do francuskiej miejscowości The Peculiar Monsieur Lanutt. To kolejny element naszej podróży. Jej nie chcę brać, ale wezmę jego. Druga postać to będzie ona. Tylko jeszcze chwilkę. Ona ma search, a on ma logical. Dobra. Weź mi to wymień. O, come on. Ona i on. Znaczy on i ona, tak jest. I teraz tak. Ruined soon, new. 5 do 7, 7 do 9, 7 do 8, 7 do 8. Okej. A i jeszcze jedną rzecz pominąłem. On jest Initiative Strong, Ranged Strong, ok? A ona jest Magic Weak i we wszystkim w całej reszcie jest Average. Dobra, no musimy spróbować w ten sposób. Skoro we wszystkim jest Average, to weźmiemy tak. Jej damy pistolet. 0-0, niedobrze. No dobra, niech to ma. I damy jej rurkę, czy to? Damy jej rurkę. Jemu damy tą rurkę, ok. I teraz 2 plus 3 i bandaż jej. Dobra, w ten sposób zaczniemy. Zobaczymy, no najwyżej znowu się coś potoczy, nie po mojej myśli.
You're wasting time pursuing this Lanutt character. He's untrustworthy at best, an outright liar at worst. If nothing else, New Orleans is a beautiful city to visit. You never know what you'll find around the next corner.
Całkiem klimatycznie.
Of course, not everything one finds here is a pleasant surprise. I hope nothing tragic befalls you on these unfamiliar streets.
Miejmy nadzieję.
Finally, we're in the French Quarter, and there's Jackson Square up ahead. If Rex was telling us the truth, we'll find Alphonse Lanutt's shop on a back street nearby.
I still think this Lanutt is not to be trusted.
No okej. Peering into the mailbox, you see a big box inside. The odor of fresh-baked cookies wafts over you, reminding you of your grandmother's baking. Plus 1 do sanity, które mi jest w sumie niepotrzebne. I need to touch it to be sure. The nearby bush might conceal something interesting. You might find it if you poke around. O, naboje do shotguna. Ładnie. Najpierw co pójdę naokoło, zanim pójdę gdziekolwiek dalej. The car is at least most fashionable model available. You can't help pausing to admire the sight of it. Can you spare a dime? A grubby vagrant approaches, hand held out hopefully. Urban Street must be nearby. Old Magician tells me Miss Cadward from 2 streets down the way hasn't been seen for a month or longer. Some of them that's been out to the bayou since then say the witch dragged her out there by the hair and has boiled her up for some gumbo. No co ty nie powiesz? Przez ciebie mi spadła poczytalność. Dobra, przejdźmy się tu. Wiesz, że nas ktoś zaatakuje. O. Naboje do shotguna. Nie podoba mi się to. Nie znalazłem tego shotguna w poprzednim rozdziale. No i trochę to jest niezbyt przyjemne.
An old voodoo shop. This must be the place.
Yeah, the door's locked. Mr. Lanutt, we've come to talk to you.
Z jego głosu można wywnioskować, że to jakiś bandzior.
Hey, get away from my shop. Hey, you won't trick me that easily, you bloody-handed assassins.
What? We're not.
I warned you he's untrustworthy.
Mr. Lanutt, we're just here to talk.
Leave at once before I call the police.
He sounds upset. Maybe one of his neighbors can help us talk to him.
No, musimy z jakimś sąsiadem pogadać, mówicie? Lanutt, I haven't seen him in a while. I see his friends sitting alone lately, always taking notes. I wonder what he's writing. To? Nie. Did you hear the herd of Argeti is making another float for the Mardi Gras parade this year? I don't know how they'll top last year's. When the balloon exploded, we all thought it was an accident, but then stars flew everywhere. Amazing. O Jezu, jakaś główna ulica tu jest. What was she thinking? My youngest midget wanted to run off to play with her friends in the bayou. Well, you can be sure I forbade it. No child of mine is going out there, not with that witch just waiting to snatch her up. You spy an old man of distinctly Cajun appearance. He greets you with a bored smile. What brings you to La Ville Aristide this sunny day, Miss Amis? O Jezus Maria, znowu się zaczyna. You know a lame Alphonse? Great guy none? He always takes the time to chat with me. Lately he seems anxious, maybe even frightened. He barely leaves his house anymore, not even to share a bottle of wine with his bon ami Aristide. Do you know what has made Alphonse such a recluse? Jezus Maria. Oh, Alphonse mentioned that name just before he started acting so strangely. You said these people attacked you, none? Then they might hurt Alphonse. Here, show him this symbol. He told me it was an icon of peace. If you tell him you received this from his friend Aristide, he will help you, I hope.
All we need to do is show Lanutt this sign. It sounds too easy.
Let's give it a try.
Oh, kosz. Melee attack damage. Barbed wire. Dobra, idziemy pooglądać, co tutaj dalej na tych uliczkach nas będzie czekać. Here for the Mardi Gras celebration. The parade comes right along this street. I hear the floats are really something this year. A new crew called the Herd of Algeti spent a lot of money on theirs. A, to chyba zaczynałem grę w ogóle. O, pięknie, mytos. Ajajaj, nie mogę tego użyć. Dobra, na razie za bandaż to wezmę. The herd of Algeri must have something high standards for membership. They rejected me even though I have studied the night skies for 12 years. I wonder what their special requirements are. O, nie chcesz wiedzieć, kolego, jakie są ich wymagania i tak dalej, bo koledzy nie są za przyjemni. Rozmawiałem z nią? My friend Jules was out fishing by you when he came upon an old house. He reckoned it was abandoned, but then he saw a light inside. Well, old Jules just had to take a look, didn't he? What did he see inside? Some sort of monster, I suppose, but I couldn't get him to say more than that. No dobra, teraz jakbym tu spojrzał, to odzyskam? Nie, nie odzyskam. Szkoda. Dobra, no to teraz musimy iść do tego voodoo shopa, żeby mu pokazać ten jego znak. Na to wychodzi. O, tu coś jest. A backstreet grocery store full of shoppers sniffing and squeezing produce before making their selection. Dobra, idzie. O, coś tutaj mamy. A hand-drawn poster of a young woman is pasted to the brick wall. The notice says she's been missing for about a month. Czyli to, o czym ten magik tam gadał, czy tam ten obywatel na ulicy. In bold letters over a vaguely screaming green and black background, the poster reads Mythos. You don't recognize that as a brand name, but you can't shake the feeling that the word has some connection to recent strange events in your life. Przejdę się jeszcze tam dalej. O, brudny. Nie chcę brudnego. I heard the mayor owes this herd of Algeri a special favor after they help him with a so-called medical problem. I recognize the Leaks Cafe. They serve the most delicious tea. No i dalej, niestety. Nie przeczytałem. Yeah, I've heard the rumors about the witch house, says the man. They say it lies far out in the bayou, where it stood abandoned for ages. I heard there's an old lady there now, waving magic. If you get too close, you can hear the screams of the victims she sacrifices. Normalnie aż powiem szczerze dobrze, że nie miałem sanity check. Znowu brudny, nie chcę brudnych bandaży, no bez jaj. When there's too much stuff, sometimes it's faster to dump it out before searching. A street cart full of wine, cheese and cakes stands unguarded on the street. Digging through the bulbs might turn up something interesting. Nie to? Dobra, chwila, bo zaraz mi mytos wskoczy, nie chcę tego. Na byle kim akurat. No i super. Co jeszcze mam? A jeszcze jeden mam. Empty? A. Jest shotgun. Move. Ajajaj. Aj, to jest ta rurka teraz moja, dobra. Plus 1 sanity. A scent of fresh coffee fills the cozy cafe. It would be nice to return here under more pleasant circumstances. A eksploracja się opłaca. The newspaper article reads, Police investigating disappearance of Miss Elizabeth Cartwright. Anyone with information as to her whereabouts are to contact the police. Police discourage further reports of a bio witch. Oh. A newspaper article on this year's Mardi Gras celebration predicts record attendance and a parade with the greatest costumes and floats ever seen in New Orleans. This might need a closer examination. A pile of debris lies before you. Perhaps there is something useful in all the clutter. Pistolecik, ładnie. Wymienię sobie od razu. Świetnie. No i super. O, ktoś tutaj chce porozmawiać. After my friend David joined the herd of Agedi last year, he began acting all high and mighty. He's too good to speak to me anymore. Oj, biedna dziewczyno. Nie przejmuj się tego kwiatu półświatu. Znaczy czwarte gówno warte. Co?
Those men are attacking that woman.
Let's give her a hand.
Maria Lambert, new investigator. O, jak ona wygląda, tak trochę... No. Jej głównym atutem jest willpower. Mary has less chance of doing a wild cast when casting a spell. Okej. Wydaje mi się, że im bliżej, tym lepiej. O! I raz jeszcze. Pięknie. Zakończ turę. A ty, koleżanko. Kryta, ładnie, dziewczyno. Dobra, zakończymy turę. I no serio, będziecie mi ją atakować? Jeszcze rurkami? Co za społeczność? Co ty masz w ręku? Nóż. Zbytnie krzywdy mu nie wyrządzisz. Out of bullets. Reload za 2, strzał za 3, ale to nie... Aha. Ja nie mam walki wręcz. On ma 26. No to muszę przeładować niestety. W rzeczy samej. O, ale dostał. Pięknie. Teraz zostaje tylko ten jeden typek, ale to tamtego to już z palcem nie powiem czym pokonamy. Ona też kryta zapierdzieliła. Ładnie, ładnie. Muszę przyznać, że dobra ta dziewczyna.
Thanks for your help. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't come along when you did.
You're welcome. Who were those men?
I've never seen them before. They cornered me just as I came out of the social club. Maybe they heard me singing there. I haven't seen you before either. What brings you to the French Quarter?
We need to talk to Alphonse Lanutt at his voodoo shop, but he seems reluctant to let us inside.
Mr. Lanutt? He was friends with my late grandmère. He might remember me.
O,
We'd be delighted to have you. But things aren't always safe around us lately.
Oh, don't worry about me. I can hold my own. Just not when outnumbered 3-1.
I don't know whether you can trust this local guide you've discovered. But let's hope your good deed in saving her goes unpunished.
Damy radę. Door to a speakeasy, you catch a brief glimpse of a long bar and a dozen cozy tables, all set with glasses of liquor. A whiff of boozy drifts out onto the sidewalk, and you realize this speakeasy isn't even trying this kiss its business. The police in this district must be well bribed. Przekupiona policja, no ta. Dobra, na razie pokażcie mi, jak to wygląda. W ogóle to pokażcie mi jeszcze ją, tak a propos. Nie jego. Ranged average, ale magic ma strong. Magic. I o to chodzi. Dobra, damy ci rewolwer, koleżanko. Już ci nie będzie potrzebny, jemu damy. Ubierz sobie to. Chociaż jeśli ona ma... Nie, ona ma average, to w sumie na jedno wyjdzie. Dobra. Psychohol, no advice. A fresh wooden crate. It's sealed tight. You'll need something to open if you want to look inside. Whoops. Whoops! Au. No dobrze, że mam zegarek jeszcze jeden. Raz się mogę pomylić. No dobra. Mów tutaj, okej. Dobra, no to teraz idziemy do doktorka, nie? Tylko jeszcze sobie użyjemy na niej tych bandaży, bo ona troszeczkę tak wygląda słabo. A, dobra. Tyle wystarczy. A nie, tutaj mnie nie było. A pile of debris lies before you, but one item in it stands out as potentially useful. Aha, ja tu już byłem, dobra. No to teraz już zostaje nam tylko droga do doktora. Mytos. Doktor. Knock, knock. You knock on the door and can already hear the impatience coming from the other side of it.
Mr. Lanutt,
I told you to go away.
Mr. Lanutt, we were told to show you this sign.
Ah, so you're requesting sanctuary. Very well. If Aristide vouches for you, you may come inside.
I pewnie albo ona nam mogła dać taką przepustkę do środka, albo właśnie ten znak. No dobra, no najważniejsze, że zegarek mam. Zaraz będzie sanity check na dzień dobry.
Now that I have a closer look at you, I must say you don't appear very much like assassins. What do you want?
why would you be expecting assassins?
All I can say is that someone out there wants to kill me, and I won't take one step outside my house until I know the threat is over. Now answer my question. What do you want?
We're investigating the death of a friend who was murdered recently. The trail led to a member of the herd of Al-Jidi.
You consort with the herd? Why, then you are my enemies, and the shop's ward should have prevented you from entering. I'll just...
Wait, no. The herd are no friends of ours.
Is that so? Well, whether or not that's true, I fail to see what any of this has to do with me.
A reporter named Rex Murphy pointed us here and suggested you might have more information about them. What's more, our late friend Professor Tillingist mentioned you in her notes.
Tillingist? You're friends of Wilhelmina Tillingist?
Yes, just recently in Arkham, we...
And you say she's dead. You actually saw her corpse?
Yes, that's why we're...
Oh, no. No. It's gone much further than I imagined. No wonder they're after me.
What's gone further? Who's after you?
Why, the herd, of course. They're behind all of this. Quickly, there's no time to waste.
What is this sputtering fool talking about? And the way he keeps interrupting you, how rude.
Wait, just a moment.
Engelbert. He's my assistant. I sent him to infiltrate the herd and learn what designs they might have on me. If Tillinghast is dead, I fear he might be next. I don't dare leave the protections of my shop. You must find him and bring him back here. Take 2 right turns after leaving my shop. His house is the one with the red door, just past the cafe.
This is all too much. I bet he's just sending you on a wild goose chase to get rid of you.
Okej. Najpierw sobie pooglądamy, co tutaj jest w ogóle, co? Mysterious object attracts your attention. You have no idea what it does, but if it's in Lanutt's shop, it must be special. You reach for the object.
Look with your eyes, not your hands. What are you, children?
Aha. No cóż. Mysterious object attracts... Aha.
If you ain't buying, stop fussing about.
Serio, no weź, gościu.
Stop that. Of the million.
Jezu, no. O wszystko się tak będziesz rzucać? Teraz mi to daj.
Were you born in a barn? Did your mother never teach you good manners?
Gościu wyzywa. Dobra, masz coś do powiedzenia? Nie. Dobra, idziemy stąd. On powiedział, że po wyjściu 2 razy w prawo. Czyli tutaj i teraz w prawo, tak? Na to wychodzi tylko chwilę jeszcze tutaj może... Nie, to są brudne bandaże, nie chcę brudnych bandaży. O, tu coś jest czerwonego. Będzie tu? Na pewno nie da się tego... O, tutaj. Ten tu pewnie jakiś zwiadowca.
There's the red door. This must be Engelbert's house.
The door's ajar. Someone must have left in a hurry. We'd better take a look inside.
Nigdzie policji nie ma, ta? Nie za ciekawie to wygląda.
This must be Lanutt's assistant, Engelbert.
It's the right address, all right.
When will this trail of tragedy end? My death was only the beginning.
He hasn't been dead long.
Say what you will about Lanutt. He was right about there being an assassin. We should find the killer before he gets to Lanutt. And our answers.
Be careful, friends. One who goes hunting for a tiger may learn that the tiger finds him first.
The killer may have left evidence behind, or failed to find clues that Engelbert hid from view. We must search the place before we pursue the assassin.
Dobra, no to szukamy, nie? A bottle of coffee from a dropped cup still steams with a heat. It must have spilled recently. A visual examination should be sufficient. The body of Engelbert, Lanutt's assistant, lies before you on the bed. Blood pools beneath his limbs, not yet rigid in death. Defensive wounds along his arms and hands show he fought for his life, to no avail. Perhaps there is a clue on this person. From Engelbert's clenched fist, you pluck a scrap of red cloth with a distinctive print pattern. You must be torn it from the killer. You also notice that his hands are wet, but not from blood. Red piece of clothing. Does this represent a step forward or a step back? I should take a look through all of this. Engelbert's white robe, full of clothes. Perhaps something else lies in there as well. Among many ordinary articles of clothing, you find the raiment of the herd of Algeri. Engelbert must have used it to infiltrate the cult. Okej, tu jeszcze biurko zostaje. Księga. Dobra, ona tu jest dobrym magikiem z tego, co było napisane. A small painting of a mountainous landscape decorates the bathroom wall. The frame is slightly crooked. Perhaps someone placed something behind it. Behind the frame, someone had stuck a scrawled piece symbol with a note. Show Lanutt when he's in doubt. A white claw bathtub filled with murky grey water. Perhaps something lies beneath the surface. Dumping it out is a start. Chwila, najpierw zegarek se zużyję. Ja tu znowu to samo zaznaczyłem, jak ja głupi jestem. In the bathwater you find a sudden note apparently torn from a book. In lines of bleeding ink you can still make out the message. The Lanutt portal opened in the bayou. A note from Engelbert Fallout portal. Another breadcrumb, but does it lead to the solution to this mystery? A kitchen sink full of filthy dishes covered in congealed grease and hardened sausage. Engelbert wasn't much of a housekeeper, but you can't think of many places less likely to find a clue, which makes it a perfect place for one. Emptying this setting with a fresh canvas. Naprawdę sanity check. You'd like to think it was worth a try, but it wasn't. You find nothing but crusted old food and unidentifiable fluids in the filthy sink. You need a bath. O Jezu. The oven closed and apparently little use. Perhaps Engelbert hid something inside. Oh, bulety. A stain that a dog-eared receipt book lies on the counter. It's definitely seen better days, and it'd be hard to find a particular receipt without a search, but perhaps there is something worth finding in those pages. O Jezu. Jakieś przepisy, ale nie będę tego czytał. Okej, z tego chyba już mamy wszystko. Więc wyłazimy stąd. Żebym się nie dziwił, jakby tu coś za tą szafą było skryte. In the entrance there is an old carpet. It doesn't look like anyone has ever bothered to clean it. Feeling slightly nauseous, you decide it might be useful to examine it more closely. Examining this might prove fruitful. A few locks of black hair have fallen on the door by a spot of blood. Perhaps in fighting for his life, Engelbert left another clue to this murder's identity. Dobra, to idziemy stąd. On the back streets near the house of Lanutt's assistant stands a bald man in a red suit. He wears a fedora hat. Are you sure you want to accuse this person of being the assassin?
Now we have you, assassin.
I don't know what you mean.
You can't fool us. We know who you are, and you won't get away.
What's wrong with you? I didn't even look at you sideways.
Oh dear, what a blunder. That's not the assassin.
But he looked like... maybe we were a little too quick to act.
Let's think a little harder about what we know next time.
Oh, come on, ludzie. No, zdarza się każdemu, no. Dostał z dubeltówki przez przypadek. Co ja wam powiem? Dobra, gościu generalnie... Gościowi czegoś brakuje. Nie. A jakie another clue? Co ona powiedziała w ogóle? Że ja z nią rozmawiam już. There was one customer wearing the most beautiful hat. I'd never seen it's like before. I should have asked where I could buy one like that. A woman sitting alone. Perhaps she knows what's going on in this neighborhood. Oops. Oops. There was a well-to-do looking young woman near the voodoo shop. I thought it was strange that someone so fancy would hang around here. No, to już było. Czegoś nie widziałeś? Nie. Near the cafe stands a white woman with black hair. She wears a fancy hat and a red dress.
Now we have you, assassin.
I don't know what you mean.
You can't fool us. We know who you are, and you won't get away.
Chyba ja tu zaraz pół miasta wybiję. Oho. Oho. Nie no, niestety na niej się muszę skupić tak trochę. Dobra, użyj tego. Napieprzaj ją, ile wlezie. No nie, no nie na niego. Na nią. Tak. Za 5 tylko? No co ty mówisz? Kurczaki, no. Strzela za 3. Okej, zrobimy tak. Tak. Przeładuj. I napieprzaj w typiarkę. Dobra, jest. Pięknie. Teraz ona. Dobra. Dobra, ona niech po prostu strzela stamtąd. Ładnie zakryta. Nie no, raczej nie za dużo mu zrobię z takiej odległości. O, jednak.
I failed my mission, and the herd, and the great...
What good luck you have, my friends, to overcome such a deadly foe.
With the assassin out of the way, it's time to get back to Lanutt. He's bound to help us now.
O, będzie
If
martwy.
you expect gratitude from that one, I'm afraid you'll be sorely disappointed.
What's this notebook sticking out of the killer's pocket? There's something about getting rid of Lanutt. Wait, there's something about Professor Tillinghast. Escort Tillinghast to the witch house in the bayou. I wonder what they wanted with her there.
Nie, tego to ja nie chcę. Ona zniknęła, ta? Dobra, idziemy do pana Lanutt. Czy jak mu tam leci? Lanutt. Lanutt.
Why have you come back without Engelbert? Don't tell me something has happened to him.
We were too late to save him, but we found the assassin and dealt with her.
I told you. You didn't believe me, but it was true. I suppose I should thank you, even if you did fail to save poor dear Engelbert.
We found a note he'd hidden in his apartment. It said something about you and a portal in the bayou. What do you know about that?
As I suspected. Alas, Engelbert, you served me well up until the day of your death.
What are you talking about?
The so-called comet that passed near the Earth a few weeks ago, that was not a comet at all. Do I surprise you? I dare say I do by the look of wonder and astonishment in your eyes. I am no mere purveyor of voodoo trinkets and curios, but a scholar of occult knowledge. My ancestors knew the truth, and they passed it down to me along with forbidden tomes and arcane scrolls. We know the danger of the herd of Algidi. They are behind all of these events, and they have been scheming so for decades. Why, just 20 years ago...
Hold on a minute. Let's back up to not a comet at all.
Ah, of course. To the uninitiated, this can seem overwhelming. Very well. The disturbance astronomers mistook for a ball of dust and ice orbiting the sun was in truth a portal. A gate leading to the star Deneb al-Gedi, which the more astute of you may recognize as appearing in the constellation known as the Tail of the Goat, dozens of light years away.
This fantasy of a gateway to a distant star. Do you think it might indicate a desire to escape the mundane world?
I did warn you Lanutt was unstable. What's some mistake for eccentricity is full-blown madness, I tell you.
Not impossible, just hidden from the knowledge of most. You do know that occult means hidden, don't you? Well, I suppose I must keep things as simple as possible for you. Or perhaps not. You have seen the proof yourselves in the book entitled Culte de Gaulle. You've witnessed the manner of deaths of those who posed an obstacle.
It seems impossible, but it must be true.
For a long time, I suspected Tillinghast was allied with the herd. She was studying the comet after all. But with her death, it seems they weren't allies after all. If I had realized, I would have done more to warn her.
There's no time for recriminations. We need to stop this herd.
Engelbert infiltrated their cult. He told me of their general plans and described their headquarters in the bayou. The locals call it the Witch House and are afraid to go near it. From what Engelbert reported, I knew they were approaching favorable time for their schemes.
Why do you even listen to this madman? He says he knew I was in danger, but failed to warn me. He sacrificed his own assistant rather than risk his own skin. Untrustworthy villain.
And now you think this portal is opened?
It has. It must have. I know the method of closing it, but the danger of going there... No, I would never survive the attempt.
You're safe with us. After all, we've already saved you from one assassin.
That's true. And I suppose it's no fault of yours you were too late to save Engelbert. Very well, I agree.
Oh
Then
yeah.
that is our plan. We'll go together into the bayou.
Closing this mystical gate is far beyond this charlatan's power. You'll only be putting yourselves in more danger than you've ever faced before.
O, i takim oto sposobem ukończyliśmy tutaj zadanko. Save the woman in distress, secondary objective wykonany, świetnie. Żadnej traumy, pięknie. With Herd of Algedi all against you, your only other source of information in New Orleans is the Alphonse Lanois. The danger is that you don't know whether he'll turn out to be a friend or a traitor, as the telegram warned. You know you can find him somewhere in the French Quarter. To zadanko mamy za sobą i wracamy właśnie do biura.
Oh, this is much too much. The bayou is a treacherous place in and of itself. How much worse must it be if this portal truly exists? But of course it doesn't. Even if a door to another world could exist, why would it be in a swamp? And how could you close it with a magic book? Safer and more sensible to stay well away from that miserable backwater.
W kolejnym odcinku zajmiemy się Unwelcomed Guests. To oznacza, że zbliżamy się chyba powoli do końca. Bo jeśli tutaj mamy kolejną misję, to pewnie tutaj będzie kolejna i tu będzie ostatnia. Tak mi się wydaje, ale jeszcze się zobaczy. Może tutaj jakieś dwa wskoczą. Kij to wie. W każdym razie dziękuję wam bardzo za uwagę i do zobaczenia w kolejnym odcinku, który będzie nosił nazwę Unwelcomed Guests. Do zobaczyska.